Good morning. Welcome to Monday Messages. I got my festive holiday shirt on. We decorated for Christmas this week and it was so much fun. Just getting up there and feeling some sense of normalcy in this crazy COVID time, right? But it was making me reflect on different Christmases and Christmas, the various friends and family that I've had throughout the years that I get to share and celebrate this holiday with. And one that comes to mind in particular is my friend David. And he's going to probably be listening to this because he does follow my Monday messages. But he had David and I are like soulmates as far as best friends go. We're meant to be best friends. And he shares this story with me. I would say David is like the gay version of me. We're like twins like that. And I am the straight woman version of David. So anyway, one of my favorite David stories happened to do with Christmas. And he was in high school and he was doing a psychology class. And in the psychology class, they decided that they were going to take a field trip that year to go to this mental asylum and hand out Christmas presents. Well, one of the students lost his mother to mental illness. So he didn't take this lightly and he wanted to do a really special gift for this person. So he made this like beautiful matchstick like sculpture of something or other. It was just a beautiful work of art made out of, I think it was either matchsticks, toothpicks, some sort of wood that he put together. And when everybody saw it, they were like, "Whoa, that's amazing." This can't just go to anybody. This particular present, because so much was put into it and it means so much. It needs to go to the person who needs it the most. And so they're like, okay, so we need to find like the most mentally ill person we can find there that this is going to mean the most to. And who wants to take on that task? So of course, David, I'll do it. I'll do it. He raises his hand to do it. So David really takes this serious and he gets in and he starts, doing the studying and looking over his notes and really studying what makes, a psychotic person. And he gets on the bus and he's still looking over his notes and they drive over to the mental asylum and he's still kind of in his zone trying to think, okay, who am I going to look for and what am I going to look for as I'm going to be given, I've been charged with giving this beautiful present out. And he says he was sitting in the room and he looked around, he started scanning the room based on all the studies and notes that he had. And there he saw her. She was in the corner by herself. Isolation. She was disheveled and kind of looking angry and kind of maybe moving back and forth. And he's like, okay, there she is. I've spotted her. That's the one. That's the lady who I'm going to give this to. So he goes up. It's time for him to present the special gift. And he goes up and he stands there and he's like, on behalf of the class of 1985, I would like to present this to you. And he goes over and he hands it to the disheveled lady sitting in the corner rocking. And she looks at him. She goes, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh, it's a present for you." And she goes, I brought you here. I'm the bus driver." And he's like, "Oh, okay." What made it even worse was the fact that the bus driver knew that this particular present was going to the most mentally ill psychotic person in the room. It got presented to her. So of course, it became quite the joke around school that David gave the bus driver the special present. And oh my God, it is one of my favorite Christmas stories ever because it's just, it's just, we try to do the best we can sometimes, and we mean well, but we just get so into ourselves and thinking logically about something that we fail to really see the big picture of what's going on and what's going on around us and stuff. And I checked in with David that he was going to be okay that I shared this story. But I'd like to tie that into my topic for the Monday message this week in the fact of, addicts and alcoholics, um, or anybody suffering from any sort of, mental illness, this, that, the other, going through something. You don't even need to be an addict or an alcoholic. It takes one to know one. It really does. When I was out there in my full swing of alcoholism, I was crazy, and I felt alone, and I felt different, and I felt nobody understood me. And all my normal friends, they thought, what, why do you keep doing this self-destructive behavior? What's wrong with you? Why don't you just stop it? Just stop. Stop the craziness. And truthfully, I wanted to stop the craziness really bad. And I would start every morning. It's like, okay, can't do that again. I've got to stop this drinking. It's really bad for me and it's destroying my life. And then I would wake up the next morning with a hangover, saying the same thing over again, wondering how to get out of this crazy cycle that I had found myself in. And it really, when I found others like me who understood, what I was going through, it made all the difference in the world, because these people not only were like me, but they found a way out. And I desperately wanted to find a way to be free from the bonds of alcoholism that were tying me down for so long. And when they told me how they did it, for me, it turned out to be a spiritual solution, as it has for so many people. In that I can't do this. Only God can do this. My own willpower. Because if you talk to a normal person, like, you just need a little willpower, just get a little willpower. That's all. That's all that's wrong with you. It doesn't make sense to the normal person unless you're an alcoholic. You get it. Because if somebody were to come to me, it's like, I can't quit drinking no matter how hard I try. I've lost all control of my life. It's destroying my life. What do? I say, I get it. I know where you are. I've been there. I've done that. I know exactly the pain and the bankruptcy you're feeling right now, and the guilt and shame that are eating away your soul. I get you like nobody else can get you. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to reach out my hand. I'm going to help you find the way out that was so freely given to me when I desperately needed it. And throughout my time in sobriety in life, all these trials and tribulations that I go through, especially the trials, when I'm going through them, it's terrible. I hate it. I don't know why I have to go through it, but I do it. And I go through it as, again, with the spiritual solution in mind. But when I come out on the other side, I'm now uniquely qualified to talk to that person going through the same exact thing that I've gone through. You know, that's why grief support groups are so important too. People come together who are grieving the loss of a loved one. 12-step programs. People come together grieving. Trying to figure out how to manage and live a life without this addiction weighing them down. All kinds of things. Takes one to know one. It truly does take one to know one. And by knowing, when you're going through something, don't think of it as, why do I have to go through this? Think of it as, okay, I'm going to trust that God has me going through this for a specific reason. And maybe it's just, if nothing else, so that I can help another person down the way who's going through the exact same thing. Because now I will be uniquely qualified to deal with and talk about that. When my son Liam, we almost lost him a couple years ago through out of the blue, this crazy thing that happened, which I will go into in another episode. I don't want to get into it right now, but now I'm able to talk to parents. And actually, when I was going through it, my friend Patsy, I found out who she's my mentor and confidant. When I talked to her about when I was going through this, she had been through it before. And she had a son who um, suffered from all kinds of medical issues. And I had no idea at the time how similar our situations were, but how she came out on the other side. And she was able to give me that spark of hope that I needed so desperately during those times when I was just fighting to get through each day, praying for the life of my son. And it was thank God for people like Patsy who were able to come to my rescue and say, okay, you know what? They told me my son wouldn't live past 2 months old, and he just celebrated his 20 something birthday. That's the hope I needed. That's what I've been through. I needed to hear from other people who went through what I went through, who understood me like no one else can understand me. So with that, whatever you're going through, trust that God's got a reason for it, and that you will get out on the other side. And the only way I've ever found to truly get through these crises is through the spiritual solution and through the help of God to pull me out of these so that I can get to the other side. Um, whatever your solution today, I hope that this message gives you some bit of comfort and healing if you're going through something. And if you've been through something, that that it's not for nothing. Your experience is going to be so vital in somebody else's life. So with that, that's my Monday message this week. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. It's going to be a different kind this year, but it's okay. One day at a time, we'll get through it. And if you're enjoying these, again, hit that subscribe button. I think it's right here. Hit the subscribe, and let's keep in touch, and let's do this on a weekly basis. And I will see you next week for another Monday message. Bye.